have doubled my subscribers. And unlike Twitch, where subs are normally paid, it's free to follow me on YouTube. So if you want to just see my meandering, whether I'm calling out fellow YouTubers or doing these Bonnet Chronicles, please consider it. And there are free ways to watch me on Twitch too. You do not have to give me money to see these. It does help our channel whenever you hit that follow. So it is very appreciated, and I'm serious. When we hit 1K, which is the goal for YouTube especially, we are definitely doing our first giveaway. We have 5 signed copies of our sci-fi novel Axiom and a ton of fun merch from our merch shop that we can get to people. Mugs, stickers, shirts, bags, you name it. We have got it, and it is fun right now. And when Tuesday Yall and I launch our webcomic collaboration, oh my gosh, even more stuff. So I just want you to look forward to 2024, and I'm going to get fired off with a beginning story that I honestly, as a pragmatist, love seeing. I love seeing stuff like this. And I was reading Axios earlier, and they said these laws take effect on January 1st. Oh, I put it in the browser, that goofy browser. So I've got a tab down. Love it. In 2024, a state of new Minnesota laws take effect. Why does it matter? It was approved by the controlled legislator, and it impacts everything from sick days to burger wrappers. And I know some people think sick days don't matter. And give me a moment. I literally have to drink Gatorade to keep my electrolytes up. So I can tell you, sick days matter. Even being independent the way I am with the writing and doing this content creation, losing as many days as I did to my illness, that's rough. Having a state that looks out for people, this is a good thing. It's not just for them. Because my partner lost 3 days of work after what happened to me, and this hits home for so many of us. Having your partner out of commission for any amount of time could really give you a financial crunch. So having the state care enough to put in a measured effect where sick days are respected and taken care of for workers, Minnesota is really good with that, and I am proud of them. Concern because of cost and procedural hurdles. Get over yourself, businesses. I am so annoyed with these fucking rich assholes who don't want to pay their employees and are afraid that it'll cost them too much money if people get these sick day accruals. I'm telling you, I was awful when it came to taking sick time when I needed it, especially when I work corporate. I literally had to go to the ER once because I kept pushing past the sickness, which is something I really got to stop doing because it's not a healthy way to be. And that attitude got me put in the freaking ER. We have to learn that we are human, our bodies are limited, and work is not worth dying over. And these people who don't want to do what they need to do to pay their employees, y'all don't deserve to have businesses. Unfortunately for all of us, they don't get to call the shots in this. They do not get to tell anybody that they don't want to do this. This is a federal passed legislation where sick time will be properly accrued and paid out to employees. Prospective employers can no longer ask about an applicant's salary history, which I always thought was weird anyway. I can understand if certain contract negotiations talking about what you used to make or what you would like to make, but it felt kind of exploitative where some people could literally, it felt invasive on that level. So I'm glad they can't do that. But this was the most important one. A red flag law allows loved ones and law enforcement to ask the courts to temporarily take guns from persons who are deemed at risk of hurting others or themselves. As somebody who I accepted when President Obama back in the day passed that measure for people with mental health problems to make it harder to get firearms. And I'm saying this as somebody who was literally firearms trained, that I was conflicted at first, but I realized early on, because I was taught how to use a gun, that it is one of the, if not the most effective killing tool you will ever own. And being somebody who, when I was at my worst, was severely in the I want to unalive myself mode, having a gun was not safe for me. Even now, we are in a house with a legal gun owner. He keeps the shit away from me. I have no access to it. But it is still something with somebody with my mental health issues, a risk. So I was appreciative when we had that federal law making it harder for people who were Baker Act, who have severe mental health issues, to own guns. But there are a lot of people who are upset with the idea of being told that they couldn't own guns. And I'm sorry, with the rise of literal domestic family annihilation, there's no other way to call it out. These dudes are literally murdering their whole entire families. It was about time these red flag laws went into play. There were also younger dudes that were getting guns and murdering people at protests. And one fucker already got away with that shit. Then you've got school shooters, Family Dollar shooters, can't even go to the grocery store at Tops because you're going to get shot by some racist little white kid with access to guns. And before y'all try me on, oh, Dan, you're being racist. No, I'm being generalist. You can call it bigoted if you want to even go there. But let's look at the clear demographic shift on who really gets away with that. I'm not saying we've never had mass shooters of color, because Lee DeSalvo and the other one that's still alive in jail for the rest of his life proves that that's not the case. But for like the few snipers that we've had of color, there have been a shit ton more of really weird little white boys with ease of access because mommy and daddy think it's cute to buy them AR-15s and other weapons before they're even old enough to vote. Fill their head with a bunch of bullshit and neglect, and then let them off into the world. So these red flag laws will help a lot of us who are we can't even go to a movie theater and feel comfortable. Concerts, anything that used to be normalized have been ruined by these fuckers who are literally so obsessed with owning guns and using guns. So we need more states with red flag laws, especially those of us who've come from really tense domestic situations. This is going to help so many people who are in really bad relationship situations feel just a little bit safer. The next one is food containers and packages can't contain forever chemicals known as PFAs, which that should have been a long time ago. And I'm going to get ready to get to my health scare in just a moment because that was food related. A package of related renter-related laws charge, including provisions prohibiting landlords from requiring tenants to declaw or devocalize it. What the fuck? I can't believe we had to pass legislation. There is no fucking way I would let a place that I'm renting from tell me that I would have to declaw or devocalize a pet. That's so inhumane. Oh no. Oh, I'm glad they finally passed the law. Schools must now provide free menstruation products in bathroom used by students in the 4th grade or higher. It is about time. I have been dealing with menstruation for a long time, and I know I ain't TMI, but it's a reality for those of us who are and biologically identify as female or have the parts that, I mean, because nowadays we can literally do transplants and stuff now. We are, like I wrote about it in sci-fi. We are not that far away from humans being damn near interchangeable, and I'm okay with that. I've never felt threatened by it. I know some heifers do because they like to gatekeep, but I don't care on that level. But right now, biologically speaking, I have a uterus. I have been dealing with buying menstrual products for over 30 years now, and it fucking sucks. And what kills me about the situation is, especially dealing with schools, the fact of the matter is they were woefully equipped for young girls who had to go through stuff like that. And it's about freaking time that we finally got on board and understand that this is a natural process. And it happened to me in junior high. I got lucky that I didn't go through it in fucking elementary school. That has to be a nightmare for a fourth grader. But I was only 11 when I started. So I know you can get it early on. And having a school, hey, Turtle Runner, I am doing much better. I'm going to get ready to get to that. I just wanted to start off with New Year's in Minnesota. Just a happy New Year's to you, too. I wanted to just get fired up with these new laws that got passed because I'm telling you, these were driven by pragmatists. Welcome to the chat, Fluffy. Happy New Year's to you. I just think that
I am absolutely mind blown by the results. If you're like me and you're in your
Uh-oh, my mic is out. Yikes. I am so sorry about that. Ah, the fun of doing stuff from the bed. Give me just a moment here. I think I got the cord back. Give me just a moment. I don't know when this went out either. This is going to be fun. Let's get that microphone switch back. Can y'all hear me now? I am so sorry. This is the fun of coming back after an extended sick leave. Everything's going to chaos. And I was saying that this young lady was the template for those of us who had our goth phase, for the Wednesday Addams that y'all love on Netflix. I also made points about David Crosby on Twitter, so I hope that the microphone didn't go out during that, because honestly, I followed him on Twitter. I loved his music, and Summer Breeze is on my writer's playlist. I constantly use music to write to. So this last year's deaths were really hard for me. I I need y'all to understand. We lost some big names this last year. I keep saying this year. I don't want to jinx it. Oh, 1976. She was born the same year I was. See, that's why you gotta take that seriously. You might have, Burt Bacharach. Gotta take it seriously, your health stuff. He was young. I consider him a child. Anybody born in 88, that's a freaking kid to me. Too young. Wow. Another baby. That don't make sense. Oh, Raquel Welch. My grandmother, and I'm sure some of y'all can relate because a few of us grew up in at least around the 80s and 90s. So you had those fitness family members, if you were unlucky like I was, that bought a bunch of stuff. And Raquel Welch had aerobics tape and a bunch of exercise equipment. And I remember because my family wanted me to lose the weight, and I did. I got really slimmed down right before my 13th birthday using Raquel Welch's fitness stuff. It did work, but I still can't stand the effort because of it. And there's no offense to Raquel Welch. She was a beautiful lady, but every time I see her, I'm reminded of how my grandmother used her shit to get me skinny for a brief time. Didn't last long. Don't want to trauma dump on why, but yeah, the only time I ever got into a really svelte figure was because of Raquel Welch's influence, and it didn't pay off for me. I'll leave it at that. There are a lot of like old actresses and models that passed too. People that I might have recognized from like billboards and posters. A lot of soap opera stars too. I was shocked. This one hurt too because I love Law and Order. I still watch it from time to time when I remember it's on. But yeah, that's another freaking child. Isn't that Hayden Panettie's brother? Aww. Wow, he's another one that I've seen in TV shows and movies. I love old time actors that did like character stuff because I watch a lot of movies like that. Mystery Science Theater. Was he like our gang? No, I don't remember him from our gang. Oh, that one hurt too. I love Tom Sizemore. He was another one that he often played either bad guys or bit characters. But he was so good at it, and when you seen him, you knew it was gonna be good. Nobody wants that stuff. I think that was Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. That was one of my favorite musicals / movies of all time. Oh, Fiddler on the Roof was another good one. That was one of my favorite movies too. But we really did lose a lot of really good named people. Wow. She's another one. I remember her in a lot of for TV movies too. This one hurt. And I'm going to tell you why this one hurts. Because, honestly, besides being a brilliant actor in the John Wick series, which is one of my favorite movie series of all time, he plays Zavala in Destiny. And if you play Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 or both like I have, you have dealt with this man's voice for years. He was a figure that I thought was going to last forever. And he will, because we will always have his voice captured as Zavala. But when I tell you I broke down when they told me he passed, because it was like we were losing a family member. It still hurts. And it don't make sense. Because he was a fit man. He really worked hard to keep himself in great shape and take care of himself. And then he was gone. And like I said, he has been in movies and games. Axie and Wolf have found this college humor thing where he did straight up humor. And he was a talented man and funny and just a class act. Unlike some of these actors who showed their whole ass last year, looking at you, Jonathan Majors. We have men like this who really should have set the standard for how people carry themselves in Hollywood, and now he's gone, and it fucking hurts. Between him and Chadwick Boseman, I am still not okay right now. I'm really not. it, it was such a good. I love Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I still have the DVD with that. It is for real one of my favorite musicals. There are a lot of people from MASH too that passed. I think her and the young lady. Well, I call her a young lady. She's not a young lady. The lady that played Klinger's wife passed last year. Michael Lerner is another one that I used to see on a lot of TV shows. Elizabeth Hubbard played a lot of my grandmother's soap operas. Like, when you grow up around TV, you're used to this. Al Jaffe passing makes me sad because he even had his comics and stuff like Ebony magazine. He was a very prolific comic and drawer, and I'm sad that we lost him. Harry Belafonte, that was a rough one too. Because he wasn't just a musician and an actor. He was a real humanitarian, and he cared about it. This one shocked me. I thought that man was going to live forever. I didn't even really enjoy his show. I know it's hard for some people to believe, but my mom loved the shit out of Jerry Springer. So him, Ricky Lake, and so many other, I think Jenny Jones too. We watched a lot of talk TV during the day if I got homesick or I was just home from school for whatever reason. And when I say this man's TV show was on my mom's TV constantly, the chants of Jerry, Jerry, I could still hear it in my fucking head clear. Because she loved it when people fought each other. She would sit there just keying it up, watching people put too much of their business. He was the YouTube before the YouTube. Because now we have YouTube, where Jerry Springer used to be. All the trashy people, they just get content and become content creators. And then they get mad when people like me talk about them. But you wouldn't have got mad if your ass had been on Jerry, huh? Anyway, I thought this man was going to live forever. I think him passing shocked the heck out of me. I didn't think it was possible. I thought he was really going to be around forever. Welcome to the chat, Tova. It really did. That is true. He was really good with pronouncing names. And he also really, like, I know he exploited the fuck out of people. I'm not gonna lie. Him and Maury especially, they loved finding, like, people they considered low class to, like, highlight. But he did show a bit more of a care, especially with people of color, because we have some wild names. My real name's even hard for some people to pronounce. They were saying that in the hospital constantly. How do you pronounce your name? I'm not really good with this. Like, it's 6 letters. It ain't that hard. Try it. It's called phonics. Put the letters together. I guarantee you my name sounds the way it's spelled out. So many people get afraid that they're going to say it wrong. And they keep putting an H in my name. There's no H in my name. You don't have to put a sh sound in my name. Period. But they do the same thing with my online handle Kalari too. And I tell people, just call me Cal. It ain't that hard. Aw, I know him from a lot of bit roles too. Bobby! I watched a lot of General Hospital with my grandma. I was shocked by her death, too. Ooh. I know a lot of us who grew up with our grandmas watching General Hospital. I've been called Kaliri, Kalahari, Calamari. Some of my drunk guildmates will call me all kinds of crazy stuff. I just call me Gal if you can't say Kalari. Jim Brown shocked me too. We were a football family. This was another one that shocked me because I watched a lot of stuff he was in. So Jim Brown, Tina Turner. And I gotta pause right here for a second because while I was gonna go on a tangent about Jim Brown because we are a football family in my family, so I grew up with a lot of football talk and players. I love that he transitioned to an actor. And I watched him and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And I was telling Axel Wolf about the role he played in it. It was just fun. Seeing him go from sports to acting was really nice. But Tina Turner, I told him and I meant it, influenced me in so many ways, from her music when she starred in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and did the soundtrack for it, but also as a survivor of a partner who wasn't really good to me before I found my forever partner. She gave me the courage to leave. And I think a lot of people who are in bad relationships don't understand that. When What's Love Got to Do with It dropped, I had already started considering leaving my partner. And watching that movie, seeing what she put up with her former husband, and seeing that she was not going to keep taking that. And not only did she leave, she got to keep her name, she got to be a fucking success without him, and she still did things her way. She said, I am going to be a black rock and roll star, and if you don't accept me in the States, I will go where they accept me. She went overseas, and she continued to kick ass. That is what happens when you know yourself and you own yourself. And that is why I will always love Tina Turner, and her death fucking still hurts. I don't think people understand when you have gone through that with somebody who claims to love you, harming you both mentally and physically, and you think, can I get out of this? Should I get out of this? Yes, you should, but it is not easy. But when I say this woman gave me the courage to get away, and her loss really hurts, and I didn't want to break down in front of you guys. Because I have seen so much manipulative tears these last few days. Being in the content creation game now, it is a fucking mess. Especially in the foodie beauty verse. There is a lot of messy stuff. But I'm telling you, doing this in memoriam, I knew it was going to be hard because we lost so many good people. But Tina hurts, and there's another one that's about to come up, and I think y'all all know from what, if you followed me on social media, there was quite a few that broke me, but none as hard as the one that's coming up soon. So I need to prepare myself for that one because it was a hard one. There were a lot of people, though, that we lost in 2023. And we're in June, so it's coming, y'all. And I am going to try my hardest to keep it together when I talk about this one coming up. But it's not easy. This one shocked me because I grew up on the WWF/WWE, and I loved the Iron Sheik. He was definitely a stereotype wrestler. And oh my gosh, yeah. He was definitely a stereotypical, we're going to make you a foreign bad guy type wrestler, but I loved how he just embraced that role. He was definitely one of my favorite old-time wrestlers. Him, Andre the Giant, I just had a thing for people who were... I ain't got nothing nice to say about this fucker, so I'm gonna let this pass. Shoo shoo, you can keep going. I try to be a little bit nice. I love Treat Williams. He's another good actor. But that dude, I will always remember, and I will say this much. Him going on his little Fortune 7,000 or whatever the name that stupid show was, saying that Hurricane Katrina was God's punishment for the LGBTQ, and I don't like people that say stuff like that. So yeah, I ain't had nothing nice to say about Pat Robertson, so I'll leave it at that. You don't say awful things about fellow human beings because you're morally repressed. I don't like people like that. But I've got to save some of my nasty for somebody towards the end. So I'm going to try to keep it a little bit nicer than I normally plan to be for bigots like that. We really did lose a lot of freaking people. This mess is crazy. That's another one. I watched him in a lot of stuff, and he passed on my birthday. Rest in peace, Mr. Whitehead. Whew. And this one is a bit longer than the one I initially picked, but I was glad because the other one left out a lot of people. And I get it, time you wanted to be like brief about things, but some of the people you left out, it shocked me that we lost them. I wouldn't have known, and I knew a lot of these people from movies and TV shows. Oh, Alan Arkin. I watched them for years. And I think you need to honor all the people who they touch so many of our lives with their music and their movies and their artwork and so many things. And some of these people are freaking young. 2004, that's a baby. Another one that was in a lot of soaps and stuff too. And I'll say it, a lot of these people I know because of my grandma, especially. Watching TV with her was just a pastime, and I'm so blessed that I got to see a lot of these people's work because we spent a lot of time watching TV together. But 2023, man, the Reaper was busy. And I'm not saying that to joke or like make light of stuff. They really took a lot of good people last year. And like I said, it was giving me 2016 vibes because that year was already a shit year for a lot of us. But we lost Bowie, George Michael, and Prince that year, along with Chester Bennington, along with Chris Cornell, Carrie Fisher, and her mama. It was just a fucking wild year. I wanted 2016 to stop because it felt like it was legitimately on speed. And I didn't think we would get another year that was this heavy. And 2023 said, hold all my beers. Like 2016 was just fucking... Oh, Alan Rickman. I forgot. 2016 just felt like it would not freaking stop. And I was just... Bowie had already gutted me because I know a lot of us grew up with David Bowie, and I'm pausing right here because this was the one I was afraid was going to really break me. Sinead O'Connor was one of my favorite singers of all time. And it wasn't just her musical, because she had one of the best vocalists. Between her and homegirl that we lost last year from the Cranberries, Dolores O'Riordan, I have been broken by the loss of these sirens. But what I loved about Sinead was just her badass, I'm going to do things my way and fuck the music industry attitude. Because the music industry is not good to women. I know a lot of people don't notice about me because I don't put it out there, but I am a classically trained singer. I went to school for it. I was going to be in chorus. Because living in New York, if you have a talent, people want to deal with it. But I didn't want to be exploited by the music industry. So instead, I just use music to help me write, and I sing for my family. And in fact, the last time I sang publicly was at my grandmother's funeral, and I just don't do it much anymore. I honestly think it broke me to have to sing at her funeral. And I know it's because my family likes the way my voice sounds, but it hurt. Because I did not feel like singing that day. And they were like, no, you're going to sing. We need you. You need to help send her off. And it just killed something in me for singing more. I still practice my scales. I still sing for kiddo. But I don't see myself ever getting into music that way. But I always loved women who wanted to do things their way. And the thing that I remember most, having a family that is very devout, Catholic and Christian especially, was when she did that Saturday Night Live episode and ripped up the picture of John Paul II. Because in my family especially, John Paul was one of the most revered popes. And they love them some popes. I don't understand it. My Catholic cousins and especially still side-eye me because I went to mass once and it was enough for me. I'm good. That's just not my cup of tea. And what I didn't like about Catholic oppression was they looked away from a lot of really fucked up things. And Sinead called it out way before everything dropped about the diocese and the child scandals. And people were so rude. I had family members that wanted to threaten her. And I had watched Joe Pesci, of all people, talking about punching her in the face for standing up to a system that allowed children to be harmed. And the thing that broke me about Sinead is she was such a strong advocate for mental health. But when her son lost his fight to mental illness and took his own life, I felt it in my heart. She was holding on by a thread, and that thread snapped. I can tell you as a mom, our babies are the world to us. And knowing that we can't stop them if they don't feel right, I've been bugging the fuck out of my son the last 2 years because of it. Because I know the pandemic has changed a lot of dynamics, and your kid's mental health is so vital. And she's not the only one. The homegirl from 227 and Big Bang Theory, Brenda, her son did the same thing. So I have been constant alert watching over her. But she has been getting help. She has gone on the record and saying, I am not okay, but I am doing what I can do to process this. It felt like Sinead tried to handle a lot of this stuff alone. And that's what hurts the most, because when you're alone and you're in your thoughts and you're missing your baby, you're not thinking straight. And I can tell you, as somebody who has had to deal with my own ideations with certain things, I totally understand where her mindset was, and it hurts the most. I really, really hope that she is singing with the angels, because the angels definitely got themselves a good siren. She was beautiful too. Wow, some of these free people are literally kids. This was another one. I don't know a Gen Xer alive who didn't watch Pee Wee's Playhouse. This man, despite what people want to focus on after he left the show, because I don't care, he was in an adult establishment and he wasn't doing anything inappropriate with another person. So I don't understand why people thought bringing that up would stop me from talking positively. This man shaped a lot of our childhood. I know a lot of us watched Pee Wee's Playhouse and enjoyed it. Fucking talking chair. Lawrence Fishburne as Cowboy Bob. Oh my god. I always cracked myself up thinking about him in that cowboy outfit. The word of the day and shouting. His brand of zaniness brought happiness, and I still love Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That movie makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but it is so much fun to watch. I still can't hear the tequila and not do that dance that he does. Come on, y'all. I don't care what you say. Anybody my age and older that watched Pee-wee's Playhouse felt a little sadder when we got that news. And the man for 73 looked fucking amazing. So say what you want about his alleged sexual deviance. That man stayed unproblematic. You can tell because his pores did not look like he was a 73-year-old man. I loved you, Pee-wee. Rest in power. He was too young to go, too. I don't watch Euphoria, but I heard about him. That's sad. 26. This was another one that made me sad. I watched so much Mafia stuff. I didn't watch a lot of Breaking Bad, but I watched him in a lot of Mafia shows. I'm a New York girl. It's what we do. And another one died too young. And there's a couple coming up that I'm going to try to hold it together for. But this ain't easy, y'all. Wow. A lot of people from the 40s passed, too. 30s and 40s. I'm going to keep drinking this Gatorade, though. I got to keep my electrolytes on. YouTube, come on now. This is an 18-minute video. Another one that did a lot of humanitarian work. I don't want to pull cords out again. Here's another one that I believe I watched on a few soap operas too. This one hurt too. I loved me some Terry Funk. I think anybody who watched old time wrestling especially knew about Terry Funk, Paul Orndorff. They had a rivalry that I just loved because the smack talk was epic. And it just makes me sad that I know we are losing classic wrestling stars left and right. There was a couple of younger ones that passed last year too, but apparently they weren't noticed enough to make the list. But Terry Funk's loss really hurt because I grew up with him as a wrestler and I loved his brand. And I definitely want to thank Recollection Road, and I should just follow them. I don't normally subscribe to people that do stuff like this, but this was a really well done. Here we go. This was another one that legitimately shaped a lot of our childhood. If you are over 40 and you got to stay home for any reason during the day, your mom or grandma or any parent had this man on. And I can still hear the announcer saying, "You're the next contestant on The Price is Right." And Bob Barker just was a big part of our childhood. I think between him and Alex Trebek, these were people I thought were going to last fucking ever. Because they were constant mainstay in our homes. So this one hurt, and I loved him in Happy Gilmore. That is still one of the funniest scenes of all time for me. I can still see him punching Adam Sandler. Oh man. Jimmy Buffett. This one hurt because I worked in Florida in a corporate office that only allowed either talk radio or light FM. We didn't have a choice in what we could listen to. It was the office rules. And if anybody could tell you, Light FM has an infatuation with Jimmy Buffett. So I heard all his songs on rotation constantly in Florida. I didn't hate the man, and I still love his music. I'd probably sing a lot of them word for word because of how many times I had to listen to it during the day. But he was another one that you were so used to hearing him that you didn't think he was ever going to go anywhere. He's another one that he will be missed. His restaurants weren't that good, though. I'm going to be 100% honest. I would not eat at Margaritaville. And I would not buy anything Margaritaville. But I like the song Margaritaville. This one was another hard one. I know Steve Harwell was problematic and he was struggling with his addiction, but I love Smash Mouth. I loved how much fun their songs were. I loved the energy that he put out there before he started to let the addiction pretty much claim him. And yeah, everybody's seen that video of him going off on the stage on his tangents. He was legitimately really messed up drunk during that time. And I'm not excusing the behavior. I just think people only want to focus on the negative with musicians. And as somebody who's in the creative sphere as a writer, I can tell you, we're not always together. And I think I can give a bit more grace for people who aren't involved in certain scandals. Because there are enough people that I don't fuck with no more. Because I don't like rapists, I don't like pedos, and we had enough of those in the music business. So I'm not going to default somebody who just struggled with addictions. Because he's not the only one on this list. And there's somebody about to come up that literally broke me. It was really hard. This is another one that was way too young. He's 2 years younger than me. Wow. Oh, David McCallum. I watched a lot of stuff he was in. I wasn't a huge Harry Potter fan, but he was a good actor. Dick Bucket. Like I said, we grew up in a big football family. So the Bears, the Broncos, Giants, all of that was constantly in our house. I'm almost done with my Gatorade. Oh, seriously, got to keep the electrolytes up because I do not want to be hospitalized again. Aw, Piper Laurie. I watched a lot of movies with her in it too. This one was really rough for me because Suzanne Summers was one of my favorite character actors on Three's Company. I was just copying Chrissy's laugh. I loved her, Janet. I loved the whole dynamic of it. How they had Jack pretend to be gay at first so that he could stay with them. It was just such a crazy show that would never fly now. And then Suzanne Summers said, okay, everybody's trying to call me a one-hit wonder and only label me Three's Company. I'm going to come back and do Step by Step. And was a success. Homegirl said, you are not going to typecast me as this just bimbo roommate. I am going to show you that I have comedy chops. And she did. I respect the heck out of Suzanne Summers, and she will definitely be missed. He was really good in that too, Ryan F. I'm telling you, some of these actors and actresses have such a strong catalog and career. And that's why I like that Recollection Road has so many people on this list, because Time decided that a few of these people didn't count, and I'm not okay with that.
Just dreading the 40.
Because a lot of these people touched us with their work. And I think they should be honored. We lost a lot of good people in the creative sphere last year. You know, and even if we didn't know their work personally, I'm sure they touched people. This one was hard for me too. I grew up with Shaft. Richard Roundtree was a big part of our household, so that was a hard one. But this one, he is the reason why I would not use the Time one. Even though that was a shorter video, they left Richard Mall out. And how? I know Night Court might not have been everybody's cup of tea, but it was another show that I was allowed to watch as a kid. Probably shouldn't have done that, my mom, but, you know, I was a Gen Xer. We pretty much raised ourselves. But when I say this man had the comedic chops, he also went on to do movie roles. He played a lot of the same gentle giant, the quiet guy that scared the kids and that they find out that he's really just a nice guy kind of roles. But Richard Mall was just such a sweet man. And I hate that people don't want to give him the props that he's due, because he was a really good actor. And I was really upset that Time left him out, because they did it month to month, and he had passed in October, and I was waiting for it, and it didn't come. And I was like, oh no, we're not going to use you then, Time, because I want you to remember this man, because he was a really good actor, and I don't like the fact that they left him out. I love that face. 2023 was a really rough year for this. I mean, honestly, this was it. I knew it was coming, and I'm still processing it, because I was not expecting it. He had started to turn his life around. At least that's what everybody was saying. But when you struggle with addiction, and it is a struggle, it is a constant lifetime fight. And I am not trying to pass judgment on him, because a lot of people don't realize the amount of pressure that it takes to exist in the creative, especially Hollywood creative sphere. So I don't fuck with it. I will stay independent with my writing, because I just want to have fun telling stories. I don't want the pressure of being in or being popular, because that shit is why so many of them turn to these heavy substances to cope. And the shit that he died of is the same shit that they used to kill Elijah McClain, so I'm still not okay with this story. The more I find out about it, the more it hurts. Because here's the only reason why I enjoyed watching Friends. Friends was the most fucking unrealistic sitcom I ever watched in my entire life. You are in New York City, my fucking hometown. And it wasn't the only show that did that, because Cheers was another one that I loved when I was a kid, but looking back at it, it was highly kind of problematic, because Boston is another very diverse city, but you wouldn't have been able to tell that by these shows. But the thing that got me about Friends was that it was literally my hometown, and you'd see people that look like me at all hardly in that show, very freaking rarely. So I always side-eyed, because it was my mom's favorite show, that aspect. But anytime I watch Chandler, he made that show watchable for me. He is legitimately the reason why I watched and enjoyed Friends. So this one hurt a lot because he is the reason why I loved that show. All the other actors and actresses were fine, but I wouldn't have watched it for them. His delivery, the whole pivot scene still cracks me up because when he finally snapped at Ross, that was all of us. I loved his character. I just loved snarky people, and he just brought that snarky energy to everything he did. And it makes me sad that Hollywood pressures these people so much, and the need to be relevant and the need to escape from the pressure of all of it gets them. And we've lost so many greats. I was listening the other day when I got home because I need a day to decompress. I just wanted to listen to music, and I fell into the YouTube sphere of the Super Bowl halftime show compilations because we had some really good. Last year's Super Bowl halftime show was really well done. Love me some Rihanna. I loved the one before with Dr. Dre and his cast of All-Stars, so I kept going, and I started looking at old Star Spangled Banners, and they did Whitney Houston's, and I just broke down because that is still one of the most beautiful renditions I had ever heard in my entire life. It just hit me how much pressure these people are under. And so many people want to judge them for what they did, not understanding the industry bullshit they put up with. I'm telling you, this was hard. Oh, I didn't know he passed. That guy had a very intense stare. Wow. A lot of people from the 30s and 40s passed. I'm not shocked. That's another one that was way too young. Up, another one from the 40s. Wow. So many of these people I've seen in movies and TV shows. Wow, Sid and Marty Krofft. His puppets scared me as a kid. I'm not even gonna lie. I know a lot of people enjoyed those shows. Those puppets were nightmare fuel for me. I'm not a big fan of clowns or puppets. I'm not even gonna freaking fake the funk. Unless Norman Lear. I'm gonna pause for just a moment. Unless it was the Muppets, it was really hard for me to get into giant anything. I stayed the heck away from that. But when I say this man, I watched a lot of shows he produced. The Jeffersons, All in the Family, Maude. He had his hand in so many TV shows that a lot of us grew up with. And I get it, a lot of stuff was problematic. Yeah, Homeboy from Sanford and Son came out saying Norman Lear was not fun to work with and was kind of problematic. He was Hollywood, so of course he was. But a lot of his shows, Chico and the Man, he brought a diversity to television that was unheard of back in the day. And the only thing that I will agree is that there was a lot of stuff that he normalized that was a product of his time, that a lot of the actors had to distance themselves. Carol O'Connor says it all the time. He regrets constantly being typecast as a bigot because of how well he played Archie Bunker, because that wasn't who he was. And I can honestly say, in real life, Carol O'Connor was one of the sweetest people in the world, and he did not have a prejudiced heart. But because he played Archie so well, he got that role in the heat of the night, and he was just so fed up with playing characters that came across as a bigot because the man wasn't a bigot. He was just a really good actor. And like I said, Norman Lear was really a product of his time, and a lot of us grew up with his TV shows. But we can be honest that a lot of those shows had some problematic leans. I talked about Maud the last Bonnet Chronicles before I had to go into the hospital, about how it's ridiculous to tell women that we are at a certain age, we didn't need to stop the motherhood thing, and that I mean, I was okay with the whole having the choice in the situation because it was a kind of getting people used to the idea of women not having babies if they don't want to. But I did not like the lean that the whole reason why Maud opted for that was because she was too old to be a mom. Because that nonsense irks me, and that was definitely a product of the 70s. But he really influenced a lot of us. Even my right end, from time to time, has aspects of stuff that growing up with his shows influenced. So I will say he will be missed. Oh, Ryan O'Neal. He was another one that struggled a lot. Him and his daughter Tatum. This one hurt too. I was just watching Brooklyn 999, and I was laughing because this is another actor who can so straight up deliver a line and look like he's being seriously mad and just being funny. And when I say watching him now is gonna hurt, it is gonna hurt because it was unexpected. And he's another one who was struggling off scene with a very serious health problem. And it has been robbing all of our communities and all of our families far too long. And we need serious cancer research. I am sick and tired of seeing good souls lost to something that we should have been able to fight long ago. We need to put more money in the cancer research. We need serious investment. We have a young lady that I am definitely going to talk about more on Friday. I need to do a bit more research on it. But she is studying nanophysics, which is something I write about in my sci-fi, to figure out ways to help our systems versus stuff like cancer. And I want people to invest in this young lady because I do believe that the future of healing our bodies is in nanobiotic science. And losing another person to something like this hurts. We have all had family members that have struggled. Some of us have struggled. Thank God, knock on wood, I have not. But I have friends who are currently either in remission or fighting this stuff. And we need our governments especially to stop worrying about legislating people's choice and bodies and start putting funding into cancer research because we have lost way too many people to this shit. And it is not okay. Wow, he was only a year older than my mom. No. That one was only 10 years older than me. Aw, I used to love the Smothers Brothers. He was the same age as my grandma, though. Whew, that was really, y'all. I did not want to have such somber stuff, but 2023, even though there was really good times, we lost a lot of good people. And I think I wouldn't have felt right not honoring the people that really, a lot of them shaped our lives. I know some people scoff now because a lot of people are more online now, but I am a literal TV generation Gen Xer. So when I say last year, just like 2016 gutted me for the amount of influential people in both music, art, and television that we lost, I don't say this lightly. These people literally shaped a lot of my childhood. And not since we lost Robin Williams have I been this gutted by celebrity losses. because I don't form parallel social relationships with a lot of celebrities. I don't think of these people as my friends normally. And like I said, I did make the family reference to Lance Hendrickson because, honestly speaking, there are a lot of people that, because I am constantly in gaming and other influences, when you're used to hearing their voice, they feel like a part of your home. So that, don't get it twisted. It's not parasocial. It is just that a lot of these people's work, a lot of these people's music, still shape what we do today. Like I said, David Crosby became a crotchety old man on Twitter, and I loved it. I know some people don't like when elders go off on people. I liked it. I loved how he snarked people back. I enjoyed him for who he was. A musician who got to the age where he didn't have to give a fuck about what he said to people no more. And he used Twitter the way most of us use Twitter. Clapping back and dum-dums. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, he was problematic on the Twitter. I love that man, and I still use his music in my writer playlist. It ain't about who you like. There are way more problematic musicians and actors that people give grace to. These same people who won't say shit about Mel Gibson's crazy ass gonna come out David Crosby because he snarked people on Twitter. Okay, whatever. I still enjoy everything he's done. And if you follow me on either of these things, you might want to consider giving Recollection a follow, because they did a really well done compilation. And like I said, I originally was going to go with Time instead. And I'm glad they didn't, because when they left Richard Mall out, I felt personally attacked by that. And the reason I felt personally attacked is because a lot of people treat television actors, even though he was both TV and movies, as if you're not constantly relevant, you don't deserve a place on their little list. And I'm not okay with that. But I want to change the tone up before we wrap this up. And I got to get some heifer calling out. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh my gosh, with these ads, YouTube, I get it. It's Vlogmas time, but dang. They just try to pressure you into premium, and I'm not gonna give them my money. I'm normally Twitch based. But I do love me some YouTube because it has kept me in the know. And when I was in the hospital, I was following all of this nonsense. Now, those of you know, the last couple of weeks, I've been calling out this not commentator, a content creator known as Foodie Beauty. A quick summary of Foodie Beauty is she's an overweight girl. I'm a big girl myself, so I wasn't going to ding her on her weight. I don't believe in doing that. I believe that there's enough room for us hefty heifers normally. My problem with Foodie Beauty is she's a disgusting human being. And for 7 years on YouTube, she's gotten away with overeating, oversharing, being gross and disgusting. I mean, I watched that girl clean 7 bags of garbage out of her bedroom. That's nasty. So I do not like this chick. But I was content with just watching and side-eyeing her like most people. And I was just adjacent enough to Girl World by supporting certain content creators like FFG. But she did this red hijab stream. And I came in during her I'm going to be a Muslim arc, which, I'm going to go off in just a few minutes about. But my main problem with her is the fact that she constantly lies and she's constantly problematic. So this red hijab stream set me off. It activated my fight mode. Anybody that knows Kalari, my name is literally, my handle is a fighting style. I have been a fighter all my fucking life. So when that mode is activated in my brain and I don't like you, I just come hard. And she hates reaction channels, so I was like, okay, bet. I'm going to react to you because you legitimately said somebody's mama's passing was their karma, and that was it. All bets are off. I don't have to be nice to you. So for the last 3 months, I started making content reacting to reactors who get her content because they condensed down her fuck shit enough for me to sit through it. Because sitting through Chantel takes a lot. But Chicken Pickle is one of my favorites because she has the same energy as me. And when y'all will see how awful this chick is.
Amazing recipes.
I don't trust HelloFresh. No, I'm sorry. I know they sponsor a lot of people on this channel, but I can cook myself and I'm growing my own produce. This is why I'll never be sponsored, y'all. I'm terrible. And you have a good, happy New Year, Raina Elf. And this will be put up on YouTube. This opening, man. And I still love how these kids take her stuff and make them into bop music.
Well,
wow.
Hello, little gherkins. Flatulence Alicia is apparently on her way back to Kuwait to finally christen her very real marriage to the Sultan of Shit. I hope he's been eating his fiber.
And for anybody who's watching right now that might be confused by that opening, because I know a lot of you probably don't watch YouTube that heavily, and probably is still like, what the heck is a foodie beauty? Because she's neither of those things. She's just a gluttonous Gertie. But apparently her fetishizing her husband went to an extreme, and he cheated on her, slid into the DMs of this woman, got busted because the woman just set him up, you know, for failure. She wasn't even interested in him, doesn't even like men that way. She just wanted to show Chantal, Foodie Beauty, that her man is gross. And I did a calling out to heifer on it, so I really don't want to repeat some of the things that god-awful husband of hers said. And I'm being nice even calling him her husband because I don't think they're truly married. And I know she gets mad when we say that, but she never showed proof of it. That ugly ring ain't enough. A lot of
surface area to cover. Let's take a look at her running back to Kuwait to make sure she can monitor his every move.
Wow. This chick stays exploiting animals. Buster is her mother's dog, and that dog does not like her. She's just an animal abusing heifer. I can't stand this chick. Wow, poor doggy. He does not like her.
Literally me every time I see a new Chantal upload.
Exactly.
Buster. You're going to be safe again soon.
Yeah, baby. She'll be out soon.
This little guy woke me up today, right? Yes, you were crying.
He wants you out.
He wanted me to lift you in my bed.
No.
Yes, he did.
He wanted you out.
Does that mean you're starting to like me?
He was trying to get you out of his house. You're stinking up the place.
I'm gonna let Chicken Pickle finish in a moment, but that is the attitude of an animal that does not like you. Most of us have been around dogs and cats. Most of us have fur babies. We can tell you when your dog or cat likes you, they're all over you. They're jumping on you. They're licking you. They want to lay on you. Buster is so disinterested in Chantel's bullshit. He looks very disturbed that you're in his space. Point blank.
Buster may sniff some asses, but even he doesn't want to shit on people.
Exactly. But her man does.
John Cryer in Extended Family tonight.
Wow.
This new year, it's time to
sitcoms are just weird. I don't watch TV anymore like that, so oh well.
Buster?
Seriously, she's still exploiting Buster?
You look like Liberace. This was a gift. It was it's a purse. And this is a...
And I'm gonna say it right now. Besides this being a literal visa run, because her and her husband, I even hate calling him that, her and the boyfriend are playing fast and loose with the Kuwaiti laws. And she keeps calling herself an expat, but expats don't have to do visa runs, honey. So right there, we catch you on the lie. But the fact that you did this visa run to Canada so that your family could buy you cheap bullshit, and you think that you're classing it up with your Jessica Simpson purse. And no knock at Jessica Simpson. I love that she went into business for herself. But she's like every other musician and person that slaps their name on shit that's probably made in a factory in Thailand. So no, I'm not impressed by your designer purse. I'd be more impressed if you weren't going back to a man who openly cheated on you with one of your followers. But okay, whatever.
Jessica Simpson.
Not impressed. Still a broke bitch.
The inside has like a print. It's so cool.
Open it. I want to see your driver's license picture.
Exactly.
And most exciting, I got some matching.
Oh, that ring is so ugly.
My mom and I. Oh, mine are on the ground already.
Wow. Look, I love my sneakers. And I'm all for comfortable shoes. But ma'am, if you're at the size where you can't wear sneakers that require you to bend over and lace, that's a problem. And that's a problem that you could fix. You are still here. You could still turn shit around if you want. Slip on Skechers because your feet swell? It's the sodium intake. And I won't stop saying that. I'm telling you, as a big bitch, she offends me because she is the reason why people think fat women are just desperate and will take anything and other more problematic leans. And while I don't shift into the weird body positivity bullshit that some of these people like J-Bay and them do, I do think that you need self-worth and confidence in yourself, and you need to have a routine and regimen to keep yourself fit enough to where you don't need Skechers slip-ons. This is embarrassing.
It's 8.5, and I take usually an 8. There's a little toe room, but that's fine.
Whatever, fat feet.
You know, my feet swell sometimes, especially traveling and things, and they're very light. I'm like, is there anything in the box? So these.
Oh my god, her content sucks.
Yes, this is nitpicky. No, I don't care. Every pair of shoes she gets looks like water shoes.
Yep.
Like I'd wear these to the lake.
Yep.
Is this so the sweat can come out? Is it because it's the only thing that will fit her funkle feet?
Exactly.
I call this girl dinner, girl dinner.
You know, for somebody who allegedly hates Girl World, you do a lot of stuff to get people's attention because you know now that the only reason why people even pay attention to your channel is because heifers like me, more established heifers like FFG and Yaba, who your community tab rage put me in their direction, and I love it. I sat in the YouTube underground this morning just laughing it up. I love supporting commentary creators that hold you accountable for your fuck shit. You are a diabetic, ma'am. Not pre-diabetic. You are post-diabetes on metformin and other insulin meds because you have a problem. Your vision was already going. You're having problems and struggling walking. You are way over 400 pounds, even if you try to say you're not. And putting all this carbo slop in a bucket. Dude, I just had a serious Freudian slip there. Medical scare. Where my system from a literal fucking bug combined with probably salmonella poison depleted my magnesium and calcium levels to a point where it felt like I was having a stroke. And that was scary to me because even with my fitness regimen, even with my dietary change, I could still be taken out by a fucking bug. So taking your health seriously when you are literally diagnosed with something like fucking type 2 diabetes is so important. And the fact that you dumb your nose at everybody, that ain't it, sister girl.
Why did you put it in a bowl? We know you ate that entire box of hamburger helper girl.
Exactly.
Hi. I'm coming at you from my car, which is...
You're always in your car, old hobo homeless girl. And yeah, I know her mom's letting her stay with her, but she's literally homeless in Canada. She ain't got a permanent residency, so I'm not being mean, I'm just being truthful. But she says a lot of stuff to antagonize the reaction channel she claims not to watch. And I know you watch my videos, Heifer. I know they piss you off, but you ain't gotta watch them. You tell people that all the time. You ain't gotta watch me. So why do you watch somebody you know don't like you? I'm not going to pretend like other people that I'm just trying to be nice and I just have concern. I'm just watching this Jester be a shit show until she eats herself to on the live status. I'm not like everybody else. I'm a mean old heifer and I don't mind calling out her dumb shit.
Is almost broken down. I look like Buzz Lightyear, don't I? I've just been wearing my...
No, you don't. Don't do Buzz Lightyear like that.
You really do look like Buzz.
And toothpaste mouth. You know that situation where you brush your teeth, you use mouthwash all...
Is this because you watched my video where I dinged you on that CPAP nightmare story? Because y'all, for real, homegirl went on record saying that her breath kills her at night because she didn't believe in brushing her teeth every day. And I'm telling you, as somebody who has visible dental damage from binging and purging when I was younger, I know people would ding me on, oh, well, how dare you talk about her dental history. I'm not afraid to show my damage. When I get to my goal weight, my plan is to go and get full dental reconstructive surgery. I don't do it now because I am not at my goal weight, especially after the pandemic, putting weight back on. I am determined to get to my goal weight before I even worry about something like that. Because honestly, it helps remind me of the stupid fuck shit I did back in the day too. That's just the way it is. I don't care if people assume stuff about me. I know what I did to myself, and I can see the visible damage, and it helps keep me from doing stupid stuff. But this chick is literally on the record saying she don't brush her teeth at all. And we're not supposed to ding her, and now all of a sudden she wants to talk about she got toothpaste mouth? Fucking liar. Get the fuck out of here.
All that stuff. Do your oral care, okay? And
Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Do your life care. Because you can try to ding me on alleged oral care, but you know what you can't ding me on? Having a solid relationship, having a house, having the life that you want, but you'll never get because you don't have any self-worth. Bitch.
then what happens is you forget to drink water after, and then you get that, like, toothpaste pasty mouth.
No, your pasties is because you get high, you freaking liar. She is such a she is on record constantly getting high, but she wants to always try, because she stays stalking FFG's chat, to say it's not pasties. I watched you be your mama, so that's why I know you're accusing me of having pasties. It's toothpaste. No, you don't brush your teeth, bitch, so no. Get the fuck out of here.
Also bad breathy.
Ma'am, what's gross is the fact that your dental hygiene is so bad that your gums are so swollen they literally look like pillows for your teeth.
Wow. And like I said, I know I don't really personally ever to talk about dental stuff because, like I said, I show my visible dental damage. It really is to teach people the negative effects of eating disorders. It helps me mental-wise to keep myself from doing any binging and purging anymore either. Because when you can see the visible damage that your unhealthy habits do, it sets you straight for me. But it doesn't excuse somebody who doesn't have that level of damage neglecting their oral health just because she's a fucking lazy bitch. And I know you hate that, Chantel. I know you think you can clap back at me. But there is a visible difference in somebody who shows their damage because I want to teach people, and somebody like you who is just a lazy scumbag. Ugh. Stop doing that.
Better, more expensive tooth care product.
Enough with the tooth care, bitch. You get on my nerves. I don't want to see her. I do want to hear Chicken Pickle, though. Her trying to, like, beauty stuff. It's nothing beauty about her. She's all beast.
So I guess this is just par for the course for you to claim to love something and not take care of it.
Yep.
So,
like her cats, her man.
What happens to your teeth if you get veneers?
Shut up with the tooth stuff. I get it, bitch. You will never come at me correct and directly because you know I will tear your life apart. You have got 7 freaking years of being an unmitigated, desperate ass mess. And you know, unlike other content creators, I will fight you directly. So if you want to talk about dental stuff, and I know you're trying to come at me sideways because you're a scared ass bitch, shut the fuck up or come correct, honey. I am so annoyed right now with your dumb shit. Because this was a waste of time. I thought you were going to talk about running back to Kuwait and ruining that poo-poo man of yours life. Not sitting here taking little pot shots at my teeth. Really? Is that all you got? Why don't you attack my career? Oh, you can't because I'm actually a published writer? Why don't you attack my life? Oh, you can't because my man actually loves and touches me and cares that I'm still alive and near him? The fact that we bought a house and had a really good year last year in regards of our personal business and being together. You could never live my life, bitch. So you can talk all you want about my teeth, but you will never have the stuff that I have because I have self-worth, bitch.
Like, I think I saw a TikTok of Tana Mongeau, And she...
Oh my god.
she was
This
toxic.
chick is so boring.
Does.
She is boring. I'm sorry I'm skipping ahead, but she makes me want to fight. Like, I get punchy listening to Chantel. Well, listening to her talk about Tana Mojo, who cares?
With over 50
Oh my god, YouTube!
Our ranching spirit runs through each one of us.
No.
You know.
Quit bullshitting and just say what it really is.
Exactly.
You want to go back to Kuwait so you can watch Fecal Felix like a hawk to make sure he's not threatening to shit on anyone behind your back. You better dig into that house for his backup phone, though. It's probably stashed next to your backup sandwich.
Yep.
I have to...
Oh my god. The fact that she had a backup sandwich and giggled about that when, ma'am, you are literally a diabetic, is just, it floors me. She is so cavalier about literally unaliving herself with copious amounts of food. And she'd say, first sandwich. It was a backup sandwich, y'all. A backup sandwich. This chick stays problematic.
And when I get there, I am going to literally have a tea party with my aunt.
This is a 39-year-old woman.
A tea party. The last time I had a fucking tea party, and I love drinking tea, it's culturally relevant to me. The last time I had a literal tea party, I was 5. Grow the fuck up, Chantel. This is not okay. This is not cute. You're not going to have a tea party because you don't have friends. His family don't fuck with you. And how do you know? Some of us are from cultures where we understand when we marry into the family. Greg's parents, even though he went down there yesterday to pick up some stuff that we ordered and sent to their house, because it goes faster downstate than it does up here, they came right back up today to check up on us because they care. Because when your family and the family member was hospitalized, they want to make sure you're okay. So the fact that this chick has never, ever, because privacy allegedly, showcased his family at all, and his family don't seem to want anything to do with them, period, that's a tell. I don't give a fuck what she says about privacy. This relationship is fraudulent.
Claiming she's going back to Kuwait to have a tea party with a cat and a rat. I can't.
Exactly.
Anyway, right now, before I babble on more, I'm just going to go for some lunch.
Always with the food. Could have went for a
I
walk.
just watched a dog chase a goose, but the goose was flying. Haha.
Idiot.
I'll see you guys at lunch.
What the fuck was that?
So
Oh
I
my
ordered
god.
from Family Corner in Cornwall.
Look, I love me some good Indian food. But honey, you are diabetic. Everything in front of you right now would be a no-no. You were told lean meats, vegetables, a palm, and even with your mitts, that's a big ass palm, full of rice. That is a whole big plate of rice, non-bread, which is another carb, and that looks like paneer, which is full of butter and sodium. It's delicious, but you shouldn't be eating that. You know you shouldn't be eating that. It ain't my health being fucked over.
You have to eat here if you love Indian food.
No, you don't.
It was amazing, and the naan was so
And
fresh.
I don't mean to slander the restaurant. I'm just angry at this heifer. And this is way better looking than that Jack Lee's bullshit she was eating. And I'm not sorry, Jack Lee's. I come from a city where good Asian food is really a dime a dozen. And I love Chinese food, which was just food for us growing up. So it offends me when these families move to like Midwestern or Canadian rural towns and they literally put fried slop in bins for people to think that's actual Asian cuisine. When Asian cuisine is so good. Like a lot of my influence dinner-wise, especially, is Filipino cooking. And that's a lot of good slow roasting, seasoning, soups and boiling. Even steamed Asian food tastes good because of the way you flavor and season it. But what they serve in some of these restaurants, That's not quality Asian food, and that's a hill I would totally die on, especially coming from New York City, which is like the capital for me for good Asian food.
Delicious.
Diabetes, who? I thought
Exactly.
the whole point of Canada was to fix your health.
She lied.
You eat complete trash since the minute your plane landed.
Exactly.
Not a single actual effort to get a doctor's appointment.
Yep.
It almost seems like this trip had absolutely nothing to do with your health.
It didn't. It was a visa run, but what pissed me off is she lied about needing the weight loss surgery, lied about getting her health in check because she didn't care. This was just a visa run to shovel more food, comfort foods especially, in her face and numb her nose at those of us who would keep telling her, you're gonna fuck around and find out and lose a foot there, Sugarfoot. But it's your life to mess up. We're just all watching it in horror and snickers because you're literally going home to a poop fetish, man. But what pisses me off about this is that she overburdened a hospital healthcare system that is way worse than the States here. Because I got right to the ER, and then they had a bed ready for me at their main hospital to help get my levels up so that I would no longer feel like my system was shutting down. It is hard when you have to rely on emergency services. And I had a serious health issue. This bitch just thought, well, I don't want to have to pay for my insulin and I want to move ahead of people. So I'm going to spike my blood sugar with bad buffet food and then go in. And she allegedly spent 12 hours at an ER overburdening them and acting like a fucking Karen. All because she is too cheap to get insulin the proper way and to research and actually talk to a family doctor. You're a whole damn mess, Chantal. Woo, Lord.
How interesting.
Anyway, I'm just gonna chill out here for a little while.
You ain't got nowhere else to go, homeless.
Do some editing. I like driving to these locations and do editing.
Bullshit.
So the next clip I'm gonna show you is Julia.
Oh, no, you know what? Watch the rest of Chicken Pickle if you want. She already exploited her mother's dog. I don't want to see her exploiting that cat who legitimately does not like you. And when you get home, it's probably going to be like, oh, great, the stank is back. Dad'll be happy. But I'm telling you right now, y'all, this chick irks my soul. But I am already way over. But I wanted to make up for starting late. I want to thank you all for sitting in. Arena L, Fluffy, Topher, everybody who has watched and supported the Bonnet Chronicles and all of my live streams, all of my content endeavors. I appreciate you all. We are getting so close to 1K on YouTube, and when we do that, I am definitely doing a book and merch giveaway. I've got 5 signed copies of Axiom to give away, and it is the rare, not really greatly edited edition. We've got a new edit of the book that's going to be done this year that will be the official Axiom with a lot of corrections and stuff. I am excited about that. The audiobook is being worked on, but our audio guy caught COVID, so his health is way more important right now, and life happens. So the audiobook is still being worked on, but it is going to take some time. But I am so thankful to everybody who bought a copy of the book. I've seen pictures of people with the paperback. I've seen people with their ebooks and talking about the characters. And yes, I know about Simi. I'm sorry, y'all. I loved her too. Not to give too many spoilers away. That book was a passion project for me, and it gave me the confidence to keep writing. And I am working on book 2, and I am so excited where I can go with science fiction. I wanted diversity. I wanted people who are normally left out of the fictional conversation to feel seen and represented. And I think I did an okay job with the first book, but I know I can do better. I want real representation in sci-fi. And I know that the only way to get it is to write it myself. So I am excited with that. I am excited with Ambom. But I am going to get ready to wrap this up, y'all. My old lady bladder is starting to kick in. I've drunk a lot of fluids, and I need to keep my system up. Thank you all for being patient with me. That hospital scare was a wake-up call for me to take my health seriously. I do not have any other major health issues, thank God. But that was enough. It literally, when your magnesium levels and calcium levels are low, your veins are on fire, and it literally felt like I was stroking out. So take it seriously. Don't push past the pain. Go to a doctor, because you will end up in the back of an ambulance if you don't. But I am going to wrap this up. Thank y'all so much for watching this with me. Give Chicken Pickle a follow. I love the commentary. I'm going to go watch the rest of this after I go use the old lady's room. But thank you all so much for watching. This will be uploaded to YouTube later on. And I will see y'all all soon.